Hello everyone, my name is Buse, and I chose the movie 7 Years in Tibet. I chose this movie because it has a great deal of cultural incidents of Buddhism. And in my presentation, I will talk about the movie and actors, and then summary, and at the end I will talk about some cultural incidents. Let's start. About the movie, it is directed by and produced by Jean-Jacques Annaud. Screenplay by Beck Johnston, and it's based on a book, 7 Years in Tibet by Henrik Herrer. It released in 1997. Let's see the actors. So, as leading actors, David Thewlis as a Peter Aufschneider, Brad Pitt as Henrik Herrer, and as Dalai Lama, Jamyang Gyatso. Let's move on to the summary of the movie. So it starts with, after the death of 11 climbers, Austrian Henrik Herrer decides to add glory to his country and to the Austrian pride by climbing Nanga Parbat in British India, and leaves his expectant wife behind. An egoist and a loner, he does not get along with the others on his team, but must bend to their wishes after bad weather threatens them. Then World War II breaks out. They are arrested and held in Dehradun's camp. He attempts to break out several times in vain, but finally does succeed along with Peter Aufschneider, and they end up in the holy city of Lhasa. They are provided food and shelter, and Peter ends up marrying a tailor, Pema Lucky, while Henrik befriends the Dalai Lama. They meet regularly while he satiates the child's curiosity about the world, including Jack the Ripper and yellow hair. He is exposed to the teachings of Lord Buddha. He even constructs a movie theater while getting the news of the end of the war, his divorce, and his son's refusal to communicate. But nothing will prepare him for the devastation about the descent when Communist China decides to attack, leading to the deaths of over 1 million Tibetans and the destruction of over 6,000 monasteries, and betrayal from their very own people. So this was the summary of the movie. Now let's move on to the cultural incidents. First of all, we see a lot of Dalai Lama in the movie. So Dalai Lama is the head monk of Tibetan Buddhism and traditionally has been responsible for the governing of Tibet until the Chinese government took control in 1959. Before 1959, his official residence was Potala Palace in Lhasa, the capital of Tibet. The institution Dalai Lama is a relatively recent one. There have been only 14 Dalai Lamas in the history of Buddhism. According to the Buddhist belief, the current Dalai Lama is a reincarnation of a past Lama who decided to be reborn again to continue his important work, instead of moving on from the wheel of life. But how are they choosing Dalai Lama? After the death of a Dalai Lama, it has traditionally been the responsibility of the high lamas of the Gelugpa tradition and the Tibetan government to find his reincarnation. So let's move on to the second incident. So in the movie we see a greeting. They were sticking their tongues out. So let's see a scene.
Must mean hello. As long as they don't try to kiss me.
So sticking out a tongue is a sign of respect or agreement and was often used as a greeting in the traditional Tibetan culture. According to the Tibetan folklore, a cruel 9th century Tibetan king had a black tongue. So people stick out their tongues to show that they are not like him and aren't his reincarnation. So let's move on to the last cultural incident. In this incident, we see them drinking butter tea. So let's see the scene.
No. One was enough.
Yes, we must follow the custom. A fresh cup of tea is poured for the loved one departing. No. It sits untouched, waiting for his return.
As you can see from the scene, drinking buttered tea is a regular part of Tibetan life. Before work, a Tibetan will typically enjoy several bowlfuls of his beverage, and it is always served to the guests. According to the Tibetan custom, buttered tea is drunk in separate sips, and after each sip, the host refills the bowl to the brim. Thus, the guest never drains his bowl. If the visitor does not wish to drink, the best thing to do is leave the tea untouched until the time comes to leave and drain the bowl. In this way, the host will not be offended. So that was my all presentation. Thank you for listening. Bye.